Welcome back to the channel, fellow adventurers. If you're new here, we do EDC gear and knife review videos. If you like that kind of content, subscribe to the channel. And if you really like what we do here, consider becoming a channel member. Channel members have some great benefits, including a monthly knife giveaway. All right, folks. So in front of us on the table, I have three flashlights that I absolutely love from Wuben. These are three flashlights that I use a lot. The first is the E7. I have two of them in two different colorways. Then the G5, which they actually sent me to review, and I've fallen in love with this flashlight and use it for a lot of things. It works really great. But they asked me if I wanted to check out a new flashlight, and I said, absolutely. So they sent this one. But they only sent one. But why do I have two boxes? I'll tell you why. Because I backed this when this was a Kickstarter campaign. When they asked me to review the flashlight, I didn't realize I already had it. So that's really cool because I really like the flashlight. I'm going to say it right up front. So it works out great. So these are the boxes. Let me show you, though, what's inside the boxes, because that's what we really care about. And what we have here are two of the Wuben X4s. These are what they're calling the compact multifunction flashlight. And I think these are fantastic. We're going to go over everything that they can do and show you exactly what's on the flashlight, how they work. We'll go outside, test them, and we'll go from there. So we're going to look at the black one first. This is the black graphite color flashlight. Let's do a complete turnaround on it so you can see everything. All right. So first thing, you've got multiple lights on top. And then you have a side light. And flip it over and you have your controls. The controls are really intuitive and very easy. When it's in this position, it's locked and can't be turned on no matter what you do. When you move it to the next position, it's going to light the side light. And there are different modes on the side light. And we'll turn it off. Now you move it to the next position and you're in the front light. And when you move it to the top position, you're going to be in the front light, but you're going to be in that moonlight mode. So that's what's going to run for a really long runtime. Now, also when you move the switch up out of the way, it exposes the charging port right there, which is USB-C, which is fantastic. Now, let's go here. Again, while it's in lock mode, you can't turn it on. All right. So we'll put it in the first mode, which is for the side light. So the side light has this dimmer control here. That wheel is a dimmer control. So you rotate it one direction to go lower, and then rotate it the other direction to go higher. And when it does that flash, that means that it's at maximum power. And when it flashes the other way, it's at its lowest power. Now, if you hold that in, you get different colored LED lights. And you rotate through those. I don't know how well the color is going to come out on screen, but you have multiple colors here. Now, if you hold that down again, you flip back to the side light mode, hold it again, and now double click it, and you go into a flashing mode. You can change the colors in the flashing mode. And then you have multicolor strobe, which really works nice. Now move it into the next mode and you hit the front. Whoops, Yep, you hit the front light. Okay, and that controls the same way. You can turn it with the dial, and when it gets to maximum brightness, it flashes, and you rotate it downward. And then when you get that flash going the other way, it's at a minimum light mode. Maximum, minimum. And then of course you have moonlight mode. Put that on, and it's a very low lighting mode. Now let's show you what's really nice. You're outside and you want to quickly just put a light on without locking it in place. Press it once, it's a momentary switch. Press it twice, real fast, and you go into that defensive strobe, which is really nice. So, very easy to use, very intuitive, you know. Now let's look at the clip. The clip is great because it's positioned so that you can run a hat into it and use it as a headlamp. You can drop it down in the pocket. The battery is removable. So here is where you open the battery compartment. You push that down to unlock it, and then you flip that up, and you can actually replace the battery in here. So if you have multiple batteries, you can keep them as a spare. Lock that in, lock the case, and you're good to go. So let's go over some of the specs. So this has a 1500 lumen max. It has 3400 milliamps. It's of compact size. You've got the integrated tactical switch, your 3-control mode here, your 3-mode control system, I should say. It has an IP68 waterproof rating. The side light is a warm light, where the front light's a cool light, and then you have your RGB mode. Flashlight can operate in a flood or a spot, so that's really nice. And again, 1500 lumens with a distance of 205 meters. So you're talking about 615 feet or so in feet. Now you've got that dimmer mode, and that's stepless. So it's just rolling up, rolling down. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4 position, which is really nice. So the side light, you've got the RGB signal, and that can run in 7 different colors. Then you have the warm light, which is at 4000 Kelvin. So now this could be deployed in several methods. Obviously, you can stand it up, simple enough. You can put it on a belt or a pack and have that as a front shining light. It's magnetic here, so you can put it to the hood of your car if you're working, or any place that's magnetic, which is really nice. And of course, you can handhold it. So you've got really 4 ways to deploy that. So let's talk about battery life and how this works. This will run at a minimum power point at 720 hours. So that's a long time. You have 34 milliamp, millihours, high power battery, Type-C charging, and what's nice is you can lock it out. So it's just one switch. You don't have to go through lots of buttons, just one slide. You put it in that lock position, and again, it's locked out. It's not going to turn on, in your pack by mistake and kill the battery. Just works really well. Now let's talk about what's in the box. So obviously, in the box is your flashlight, the battery, the USB-C charging cable, and it also includes a lanyard. And it has a place to attach the lanyard. All right, let's talk about something else. They do have accessories available. They have a bike mount for this, so you can use it as a bike headlight, which is nice. And then they also sell this. This is a diffuser system. So it's an aftermarket accessory. And let me get it out of the bag. And they sell these in 2 colors. They sell this in a red and an orange. So this is the orange. Just goes right on like that. Has Wuben written on the front. Orange diffuser. Put that on high. And you can get a diffused light. There it is with turbo. So if you're doing stuff with night vision, you'd want to use the red diffuser because it won't kill the night vision. Or if you just want to diffuse it for a softer light, you can use the orange. All right. Let's take this and go outside and see how she works. All right, folks, so we're outside. First thing we're going to do is put this in moonlight mode. So there's moonlight mode. And that's your lowest power setting. And even with that, that would be bright enough to do most things like walking around the campsite and whatnot. All right, we'll turn that off. We'll move it into the floodlight. So I'll show you. That's at its highest. And let's kind of give you an idea of how far the throw is on this. I mean, that's pretty good. And then you can dial it down using the dimmer into its lowest setting. Again, which is going to be the moonlight mode. You can start to dial it up. You get that flash, and you know you're in the top mode. Now we'll move it into the side light, and that is the colored light. And we will go through the colors, if I can find the control. Red, purple. You've got like a ultraviolet there. Like I said, purple, green, yellow. It's like an orange. And you can rotate through all the colors. Now we'll move it into the side light, or that's actually the flashing strobe. That's what they call the beacon mode. And you can actually change the colors on that. All right. So now we'll just turn it on. And right there, we are in the side light mode. And again, with that, you can just turn it up. And even that is pretty bright. And as you turn that down, you get a real low beam there, which would be great for inside a tent. All right. And from there, we're going to take it, turn it off, and we're going to put it into the floodlight, and then we're going to hit the tactical button. So there, it's a momentary switch. You just hold it down and let it go. And then if you double click it, it goes into that defensive strobe mode. And that is bright. All right. Now what we'll do is we'll put the diffuser on it. Pardon the shaky camera while I get the diffuser on the flashlight. All right. And we will show you what it looks like diffused. So there's the diffuser. And you can dial that up. And there you go. You're going to get a yellow kind of beam. Yellow, orange. And if you really want to dial that back, you can go right there when it's at its minimum setting. Again, that might be good for inside a tent if you want to light it up and not be too bright, you know, at night. So, and there you go. All right. All right, folks, let's go back inside and wrap this up. All right. So we're back. And I hope that kind of gave you an idea of the capabilities of the Wuben X4. All right. I want to thank Wuben for sending this. As always, I really appreciate when they send stuff to the channel. I think they make a great product. Like I said, I have multiple products of theirs, you know, and I think they do such a great job. All right, folks. In the comments, tell me, what do you think of the flashlight? Is it something you'd use? Is it too big, too small? What do you think of it? I really want to know. And tell Wuben what you think. They look at the comments. If you have suggestions, they might just take you up on those. All right, folks. I want to thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. Also, consider becoming a channel member. All right, folks. As I always say, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp.